whether it's increasing access to mortgage capital by creating savings accounts or raising the threshold for insured mortgages, we're unlikely to see these measures do more than stoke demand and increase in prices further.
Welcome back to the Midweek Exchange, the show where we break down those big economic issues and explain how they could impact your life. I'm Natalie Nanowski, and I'm joined by Brett House, Scotiabank's VP and Deputy Chief Economist. Hi, Brett. We're well into fall now.
It's great to see you, Natalie, especially as nesting weather starts settling in here in Toronto.
Right. And nesting and homes, that's where people do their nesting. And home ownership is one of the things that I want to talk to you today about. Now, Canadians elected another Liberal minority government. And during the election campaign, the Liberals promised to make housing more affordable in this country. One of the things that they promised is to make it easier for Canadians to finance home purchases. Is this really tackling the heart of the housing problem here in Canada?
Well, there's no question that affordability has become a bigger and bigger concern for Canadians. But the measures that the Liberal Party and the other major parties put in their platforms to increase the availability of financing probably aren't going to make housing more affordable. Though in principle, they should enable more people to get into the market and get financing for a possible home purchase. They'll also have the effect of pushing up prices as more people are going after the same supply of homes. And so, whether it's increasing access to mortgage capital by improving or creating savings accounts or raising the threshold for insured mortgages, we're unlikely to see these measures do more than stoke demand. Many of those measures are simply going to increase demand for what is still a relatively too small supply of houses. And so what we're likely to see is prices go up and affordability not get a whole lot better for many Canadians in most parts of the country.
Right. They could get more people into the market bidding for homes. And when it comes to bidding, one of the problems the Liberal government says is a big issue here in Canada is blind bidding. And that is another thing that the party promised to get rid of. And is this going to help tame prices at all?
Well, it's not clear. If we look at the prices of homes, they're a reflection of a whole constellation of things that are captured best by supply and demand dynamics, but the manner in which people buy homes also does feed into how prices evolve in the short term. Now, if we look at other countries that have more open bidding processes, like Australia and New Zealand, housing prices are pretty high there too, even though they have an auction style process where people gather and make open outcry bids. And we haven't seen house prices contained any more there than they have been here. In all three countries, we see substantial demand for second properties. We see relatively low mortgage rates and large immigrant numbers coming into all three countries that are stoking demand. So changing the bidding process isn't going to shift any of those other factors. But what it might do is increase confidence both on the seller and buyer side that they are paying fair value for a home. And that's good for every market.
Right. No one wants to feel as though they were shortchanged in a deal. So, Brett, moving forward, what should we be looking for in the week ahead?
Well, there are two big data points coming out that we're going to be following. First, on Friday, we're going to see GDP numbers for Canada from July, and we're going to be looking to see whether the stumble in the second quarter of this year got rolled back and the Canadian economy barreled ahead at the pace that we expected in the first month of Q3. And next week, we'll be getting Canadian housing numbers for September. And we'll be looking to see whether some of the cooling or leveling off in price increases continues or whether the autumn market has stoked the fires on Canadian house prices again.
All right, Brett, thanks so much for that.
Great to speak with you, Natalie.
Great to speak with you too. And we'll have more midweek exchange coming up next Wednesday.